Oh, right. Let's talk about the roller coasters at Busch Gardens Tampa. Taking a bird's eye view, we can see that this park has an excellent coaster collection. The roller coasters range from a simple looper to a more complicated family attraction. Overall, there is something here for everyone to enjoy. My first time visiting this park was in 2005. I was really excited to go check out Sheikra, which was the first diving roller coaster in the United States. Well, 16 years later, I finally got back to Busch Gardens and was able to check out all of their coasters that they have. Well, minus Iron Gwazi, but we'll talk about that in a bit. As I said already, this park has an excellent collection of roller coasters. However, my ranking of these roller coasters will differ probably from the majority. Alright, let's get to the list. Number 9, Air Grover, opened in 2010, built by Zero. This is a family/kiddie coaster. There really isn't much here to say, though I will say for these kiddie coasters that you would find at the SeaWorld parks, they tend to be a little bit better than the average kiddie/family coaster. The ride is a little bit bigger than, let's say, Little Phantom at Kennywood, so some of the younger kids will not be able to ride. However, this is a great roller coaster for beginner enthusiasts, and they should have a lot of fun. Number 8, Sand Serpent. Opened in 2004, built by Mock Rides. I just talked about this roller coaster in a recent video where I discussed roller coasters that I would like destroyed in Florida. Well, this was actually the only coaster on that list that I actually wanted destroyed. The reason why, Sand Serpent, it's not a bad ride, it's a wild mouse attraction, I just don't feel that it belongs inside Busch Gardens. For what it is, it's a fine ride. If you've ridden a wild mouse anywhere else, you've ridden Sand Serpent. There's, again, really not much here to say. These are some of the smaller coasters. You kind of know what you're getting. Okay, now to mix things up. Number 7, Kumba. Opened in 1993, built by Bolliger and Mabillard. I know some of you might be upset that I put Kumba so far down on this list, but let me explain. The ride is a fun roller coaster, don't get me wrong. The best aspect of this roller coaster has to be the terrain. The way the foliage has grown in around this roller coaster really sells it. The layout, it's really nothing special today, but for its time, it featured the first dive loop and interlocking corkscrews. Today, this layout is practically the blueprint for any B&M looping roller coaster. The main reason why I have this roller coaster ranked so low is because of its rattle. It might not be a super bad rattle, call me a complaining coaster snob, but it did give me a headache after one ride. Now, this roller coaster does feature one of my favorite zero-G rolls. It's a very snappy inversion. In fact, a lot of the inversions back in the day by Bolliger and Mabillard seem to be a little bit more snappy, a little bit more forceful, and with this being their first major looping roller coaster, it has a little bite to it. Number 6, Scorpion. Opened in 1980, built by Schwarzkopf. So, the main reason why I have this roller coaster ranked above Kumba is one simple fact. This was my daughter's first looping roller coaster. Braylon is finally tall enough to ride a looping roller coaster. Well, this one has a little bit lower than average. Instead of 48 inches, it's actually 46 inches. So she was able to ride this roller coaster. She had a blast, and this instantly became her favorite ride in the park. Well, then it went back to Cobra's curse, but we'll get to that later. These Schwarzkopf looping roller coasters, we've seen this pattern before. They have that very similar layout, starting off with a turning drop into a loop, maybe a couple helixes or a couple sharp turns. They're usually very compact, and Scorpion is no different. If this roller coaster didn't play as an important role in my family, I would probably rank it down to number 7, but as it is now, I put it at number 6. Number 5, Tigris. Opened in 2019, built by Premier Rides. Yes, it's another Skyrocket 2 model. Apparently, SeaWorld went on a crazy shopping spree and bought a bunch of these for their park. As of right now, SeaWorld San Antonio and SeaWorld Orlando are the only two major parks in the SeaWorld chain that do not have a Skyrocket 2 model. I don't think SeaWorld Orlando will get one because they're going to be opening Icebreaker at some point, and SeaWorld San Antonio, well, I wouldn't put it past them. I could see this model going to that park at some point. If you've ridden one of these models, you know what you're getting into. The layout is very solid. It's a fun, forceful ride that has some ejector air time, some hang time during that slow barrel roll, and of course some whippy transitions that you experience during the drops. When I was making this list, I kept forgetting about Tigris just because, well, it's such a forgettable ride. Again, it's a Skyrocket 2 model. We've seen these before. It's a nice ride. The locals in this area will love it. Personally, I think Tigris does fit into the park a little bit better than Tempesto does at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. That one kind of sticks out near the front of the park. You see it from the parking lot. As for Tigris, it's well in the back of the park and you basically can't see it anywhere. A lot of the trees in the park will inhibit your view of this roller coaster. Number 4, Cheetah Hunt. Opened in 2011, built by Intamin Amusement Rides. If you watch my recent review of this roller coaster, you know how I feel. This is a great ride with excellent theming, great pacing, just an overall fun roller coaster. However, the restraints weren't that great. The restraints were not only uncomfortable, but they were painful. My first ride on this roller coaster, honestly, I was waiting for the ride to come to an end because they were just jabbing right down into my shoulders. As I got a couple more rides on this roller coaster, I was able to adjust the restraints a little bit better, so I was able to get a more comfortable ride experience, but again, it's still something there and it does hinder my overall ride experience. For those who the restraints will not be an issue, Cheetah Hunt very well might be your favorite roller coaster in the park. I really wanted to make this number 1, but again, I just couldn't because the restraints are just not that good. Now, if they do make it into a soft strap, then watch out. Cheetah Hunt will probably become my favorite roller coaster here. Number 3, Cobra's Curse. Opened in 2016, built by Mock Rides. This is a family roller coaster that really took me by surprise. I was not expecting it to be as good as it was. The theming and interaction that this coaster has is very well done. From the elevator lift, to the weird outer bank turn that gets you close up to the Cobra's mouth, to the way the ride goes backwards and then starts spinning, every time I rode this roller coaster, I got a slightly different experience, which was awesome. Busch Gardens really knows how to incorporate their attractions into their park. Cobra's Curse fits nicely into the Egypt section. I love how it interacts with the pathways. It doesn't really come close to Montu, but it really doesn't have to because I really like the trenches, how it dives in and out, and obviously the giant Cobra statue. This was yet another roller coaster that Braylon was able to ride, and she loved it, so we rode it multiple times. So again, that might be skewing my overall ranking, but I do have to say this is a fantastic family coaster. I know some would probably have it ranked a little bit lower, but if you're really into the theming and the overall immersive experience, you can't go wrong with Cobra's Curse and of course Cheetah Hunt, which I have already talked about. Number 2, Montu. Opened in 1996, built by Bolliger and Mabillard. Whenever I talk about inverted roller coasters, I feel like somebody always asks me, where is Montu? Why isn't Montu on this list? As I said, I haven't been to this park since 2005, so my memory was a little bit hazy. Well, after re-riding this roller coaster, my memories have rushed back, and I remember how great this inverted roller coaster is. The layout is fantastic. The inversions are forceful and snappy, especially that 0G roll. Of course, we can't forget about the Batwing, how snappy and forceful it is. But even the end of the ride when it's diving in and out of the trenches is probably my favorite part of this ride. Also, as a roller coaster over 25 years old, I was surprised how smooth it is. If you were to compare Montu to, say, Banshee, it's just not even a good enough comparison because Montu is so much better. The ride has aged so well, and I'm really looking forward to another visit to Busch Gardens Tampa so I can get a couple more rides on Montu. Alright, my number 1 pick is Sheikra. Opened in 2005, built by Bolliger and Mabillard. I know I didn't pick the right one. I know everyone is expecting Montu to be my number 1 pick, but it's not. For all I've said about dive coasters in the past, I've always called them a one-trick pony, which, well, I mean, they are. Sheikra does that one trick very well. The first drop, I think, is just amazing. I wasn't expecting to get all the airtime that I did, especially with her hard over-the-shoulder restraints. It allows you to kind of freely float up in your seat, unlike Valraven, where the vest restraints really restrict you. The theming on this ride is spot on. I just love the buildings that you dive into, obviously the splashdown, it's so cool. I just had a fun time standing around this roller coaster watching it interact with the trees, foliage, buildings, whatever. Honestly, I was just having a fun time capturing some video, taking pictures of this roller coaster in action. The roller coaster is butter smooth, like how a B&M should be. Both drops of this ride are just loaded with airtime. I could just go down those drops over and over again. This ride is just so much fun. So yeah, this is the roller coaster that I like the most at Busch Gardens Tampa. However, there's one other roller coaster that's just standing there looking all depressed, and that's Iron Gwazi. The roller coaster, as far as we know, was operational in the beginning of March 2020, but never opened to the public. Well, it's over a year later, and that roller coaster is still sitting there. They have a sign out front that says anticipated opening of 2021, but now I just have no idea when they're going to open this roller coaster. Are they just going to wait till 2022? Who knows? When Iron Gwazi opens to the public, it will be the best roller coaster at Busch Gardens, hands down. I don't even think I need to ride the roller coaster to tell you that it's going to be number one. The layout looks fantastic, and just going off of my other rides on Rocky Mountain Construction roller coasters, this one should be a real winner. Well, that concludes my ranking of all the roller coasters at Busch Gardens Tampa. I know my order was a little bit different than maybe what you were expecting, but that's okay because I have my own take and I'm sure you do too. So what is your favorite roller coaster at Busch Gardens Tampa? Let me know all about it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please click on that like button and subscribe. That way you continue to get great content brought to you by Xtreme Thrills.